Hey beautiful, welcome to my channel. Do not forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Hi you guys, thank you so much for watching my video. So you clicked on the video because you want to learn about hair porosity. What is hair porosity? It's your hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. You're going to have either low, normal, or high porosity hair. It's going to really just determine how open the hair shaft is to let in moisture and keep it in or let it back out. Okay, so now that you have an understanding of what hair porosity is, now your question is, how do I know if I have high, normal, or low porosity hair? So I'm going to tell you guys a couple ways that you can determine your porosity. Okay, so I'm getting up close for the first test because I want you guys to be able to see. So you want to get a strand of hair, whether you're just gonna you don't have to pull it out, but you're just gonna grab onto your hair. Or if you do decide to pull it out, just pull it out. So I pulled mine out, I have enough, I'll be fine. But anyways, I'm gonna put it behind a white piece of paper so you guys can see it. So this is the stroke or slip and slide test, where you're going to stroke the hair in both directions of the hair shaft, and you're going to feel how smooth it is in both directions. If it's smooth in both directions, you have low porosity hair, and if it's rough in one direction, you have high porosity hair. The next test is to drop a clean, product-free piece of hair in room temperature bottled water. Monitor if the hair floats or sinks. A couple minutes after I sat my hair in the water, I noticed that it was still floating at the top. It didn't absorb any water sinking to the bottom, so I know I have low porosity hair. So you just tried to test the porosity of your hair. Either you did the slip and slide test or you did the water cup test. I don't know what we call it, but if you have low porosity hair like me, your hair is not going to easily retain moisture. Your cuticles are very tight. So for water products or any type of moisture to get up under that cuticle, it's going to take a little more work. When you stroke your hair back and forth, it's going to feel very smooth no matter which direction you stroke the hair. If you put your hair in a cup of water, you're going to notice that it's floating at the top. It's not sinking whatsoever. And the reason why it's floating is because it's not absorbing any water. Okay, so before we get started on how to treat low and high porosity hair, I want to give a disclaimer. I want to let you guys know that the advice and the tips that I'm giving is for the general population of low and high porosity hair. Everybody has their own type of hair, just like skin. Just consider everything that I'm saying and give it a try. If it doesn't work, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, so if you have low porosity hair like me, I would highly recommend humectant products. So anything that says humectant on it is going to be a good product for you. Whether it's shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner, humectant is ingredient or product that helps to retain moisture. So since our hair has a hard time retaining moisture or like letting moisture in, humectant is going to help with your hair holding on to or retaining moisture. You do want to have a regimen, so you should be deep conditioning your hair on some type of like routine basis. So if you do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, when you do your deep condition, use a hooded dryer. If you use a dryer, the heat is going to open up the shaft and help with penetrating the conditioner. We're going to want to use hot water to open up our cuticle so that when we do apply conditioner, the shaft is open so that the conditioner or the product is penetrating. Look into products that have alkaline in it. Alkaline helps to open the shaft of your hair. That will help with opening it up to allow moisture to get in there. So when you are applying product, because we should all be putting product in our hair after we condition, use some type of leave-in conditioner, or maybe even a milk. Normally it comes in a spray, but you could also find it in like a conditioner consistency where it's like a cream. So then after the leave-in conditioner, you want to use a shea butter, I think would be fine. Maybe a lotion would be fine. And then end it off with an oil. Our hair is made up of a protein called keratin, and we already have enough of it. Our hair is pretty healthy and it has enough keratin that we don't need to add protein to it. If we do add too much protein, it'll actually make the hair so hard because it's building up so much keratin or protein that it'll start to break and become brittle. You'll notice that it's very stiff and you don't have like a slip. And slip means how like silky your hair is when you like run your fingers through it. You'll notice it's more of like a stiff or a sticky touch. So that's when you know that you have too much protein. We want to use silk, bonnet, pillowcase, or scarf. If you use silk or satin, it's not going to absorb the moisture from your hair like cotton would. Cotton actually absorbs like 2 times more than silk or satin. So make sure that you're wrapping and protecting your hair at night. Okay, and if you have normal porosity hair, you're blessed and nothing less. Your hair easily retains moisture and holds on to it. Your cuticle is slightly open, just slightly, enough to let in moisture, enough to hold on to it. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Slip and slide test, you're gonna feel it smooth in the direction of the shaft, and then when you go against it, you'll feel a little bit of roughness, just a little bit. You should be able to feel a difference when you go back on it. If you do the water cup test, you're gonna notice that your hair sinks just a little, but it doesn't sink all the way to the bottom. It's just gonna float in the middle of the cup. But again, keep doing what you're doing because it's really good to have normal porosity hair. And lastly, high porosity hair. This is what high porosity hair looks like. The shaft is very open and it lets in moisture really quickly. So if you notice that like you're dousing water and the water is just sucking it all up, but then you have dry hair because it's not holding on to the water or moisture, it's because you have high porosity hair. And again, this could be from genetics or you've overprocessed your hair. You've opened up and broken and damaged the cuticle of your hair. When you do the stroke test, it's gonna be smooth going one way and you're just gonna feel bumpiness. Like, you know how they make pillows and t-shirts where it has sequins, you go down on it and then you go up on it? That's how you wanna think of your hair. Smooth, and then, ooh, I feel that. That'll be the stroke or the slip test. And then when you put in the cup, it's gonna sink because it's absorbing all that it can. You definitely want to stay away from heat. So like, I wouldn't use hot water. I wouldn't use any hot tools. If you need to blow dry your hair, you're gonna use the cool setting or the diffuser option. Do not use heat because it's just gonna lift the shaft and your hair is just gonna continue to break. You're not gonna notice any growth and you're just gonna continue to struggle with retaining moisture. A tip I would like to share is that you wanna always use cold water. Since your hair is already lifted and open, cold water will close it. Just like pores on your face, when you wanna open them up and clean them out, you're gonna use hot water to open them, and then when you wanna close them, you use cold water. So you're gonna do the same thing with your hair, but you're gonna always use cold water. I would recommend because you're closing the shaft. If you use hot or warm water, you're just gonna continue to allow the shaft to be open and nothing will ever be retained because it's gonna continue to be open. Also, no chemicals. So I am going on this natural hair journey. And I was still coloring my hair, but I finally was just like, I'm gonna stop coloring it. And I have so many grays, but I'm gonna just have to embrace it because my hair is beautiful, and I'm gonna stop hurting my hair. And y'all should do the same thing. If you have high porosity hair, if it's genetic, you definitely want to take care of your hair. But if it's from chemical damage, if you're getting relaxers, embrace your natural hair. Stop relaxing your hair. There's a style for everybody. There's products for everybody. You don't have to have straight hair. And if you're coloring it, embrace your natural hair color. Like, there's temporary colors that you could use. You could try that. But I'm just like, get a wig or something. Now, for high porosity hair, protein treatments are your friend. You want to actually have a regimen on how frequently you're going to use protein treatments. You don't want to do them too often because then again, protein will build up the hair so strong that it will become brittle and start to break. So if you do it once a month or once every 2 to 3 weeks, it'll be good for you. Because your hair has holes and it's open, the protein will go in and fill in those gaps that you have in your hair that will make your hair stronger, and you should notice less breakage. With high porosity hair, if you want to balance your hair's pH, because your hair has a pH, you can do that by using apple cider vinegar. You could use it as a rinse, and what it'll do is it'll close the shaft of your hair. The cuticle is lifted, the apple cider vinegar will close it. You're gonna wanna use heavy butter, like a heavier butter, like castor oil or a shea butter. That'll help with locking in the moisture because you have those gaps in your hair. In order to lock in the moisture, you gotta seal it with something tough and heavy. So again, castor oil or shea butter. I do have my castor blend, which is available on my website, khairapy.com. That'll be great to incorporate in your regimen, but I'll have a shea butter soon. For those of you with high porosity hair, I have a product coming for y'all. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it. And if there was anything that I skipped, because it's a lot of information and I try to make the video as short as possible, I apologize. Comment or message me so I could answer your questions. And if you have any ideas or if you have any requests on what videos I could post about, definitely share. I'm excited to provide you guys all the information that I have.